The Ultimatum Queer Love couples are back with their OG partners. Before the finale, let's discuss the drama and who we think is going to leave here together. Hey y'all, it's Nate. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. This video will contain spoilers for the Ultimatum Queer Love Season 2, Episode 7. So if you haven't seen it yet and you do not want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. You are about to hear my thoughts on Episode 7, but of course I want to hear yours. So feel free to drop your thoughts below if you do want to participate in the conversation, and give this video a like before you go, or Megan is going to be forced to stay with Dayna, and nobody wants that. Today's video is sponsored by me. If you like movie and TV show commentary, then you already know you're in the right place. And if you are a fellow foodie like me, then you might enjoy my comfort movie and a meal series, where every last Sunday of the month I watch a comfort movie of your choosing and I cook a meal to go with it. It's a vibe, so make sure you check it out. If it sounds like something you would be into, I will link it below. Can I just say that the host was absolutely fighting for her life trying to find something good that came out of that round table they had during the recoupling? She was like, well, everybody's grown so much, I can see it.
What I also did see was this incredible amount of growth. And hopefully you can take that growth with you and apply that and really get to a place where you guys can actually have really productive conversations.
Girl, why are you lying to yourself and to America? They was acting a whole fool at this table, especially Dayna. And then she got humble, but we gonna get into it. Can someone please get Britney on the phone and tell her I need some of her oxtails right now? AJ was like, how dare you share that delicious flavor with someone of her caliber, someone of her stomach. Basically, she called Marita uncultured and said that she don't season her food, so she didn't deserve to taste no oxtails. She said she got a bland ass stomach and you need to keep the culture within the culture. She genuinely seemed offended, so I just know these oxtails must be the best thing since sliced bread. And Marita was also talking about them too. She ain't know what they was. She was like, I think it's ox. It's cow, girl. Now when they got back home, they did start talking about their individual experiences, and AJ was like, look, I loved having Marie at home all the time. She would cook breakfast for me, she would cook dinner for me. And someone in one of my last videos was saying something along the lines of AJ wants a stay-at-home wife, and I was like, well, I don't see anything wrong with that as long as the person who she's with wants to be a stay-at-home wife. I think they might have been referencing this episode because I hadn't seen this episode yet, but now that I see it, I get what they were saying. It does sound like she wants someone who's a little bit more stay-at-home.
I ain't gonna lie, I really enjoyed someone being home all the time. I'd be working and she'd make me breakfast.
Do you remember the type of woman that I was to you before I started Vitalux?
Yes, I do.
What was she like?
You did everything. Dinners, breakfast, lunch, laundry, cleaning. House was always tidy. I know she's still in there.
But just like I tell these men on Love is Blind, and any of these wannabe traditional men, if you want a wife who stays at home, you need to be making stay-at-home money and provide a stay-at-home lifestyle. People tend to forget that traditionally, women stayed at home because the men made enough money so that she didn't have to work. Y'all forget that part. Y'all want her to make money and also stay at home. Houseway. And I don't think that AJ's broke. No one's saying she's broke, but it is clear that, you know, Britney's business is doing pretty well. And I also I feel like this was kind of a dig. AJ was like, well, what if in a few years your business isn't doing that good? Why you gotta do that? Why you projecting that on her? I didn't like that. I thought that was shady.
Months down the line, if Vitalux isn't doing that well, hey, we're gonna have to hold off on this engagement because there's things I need to take care of.
I thought that was shady, and I thought that was her trying to speak negatively on her business, but I don't want to get too much into it because maybe that's not what she was doing, but it felt like that. It felt like, well, give up your business now, because what if in a few years you're not making it anymore? What you mean? Why don't you just make more money and we don't have to worry about it? I did run that scene back a few times so I could accurately catch the name of her business. It's Vitalux. So she has like an IV drip, you know, like those, I've done it a few times. I've never felt more hydrated than when I got an IV drip of water, basically. So she has one of those, like a med spa, basically. So go check her out. I'm pretty sure it's located in Orlando, Florida. I'll link her Instagram below. A few of y'all have said, look, it feels like AJ is intimidated by Britney. And after seeing that scene, I feel what y'all saying. It does feel like she's intimidated. It feels like she's like, when you got your little business, you know, like when black people put little in front of something, it's because they're trying to say like it, you know, like it's little. Like if someone were to see my YouTube channel and to them having my amount of subscribers and my view count was like a negative thing, like nothing to write home about, they'd be like, oh, I see you got your little YouTube channel. But see, then when you come back around and you start getting traction, people all of a sudden want to drop that little and they want to talk to you about it. No, you don't get to try to talk down on my business at the beginning And then when I finally get things going, you want to support me. I think that's basically what AJ was saying. Well, you got your little med spa, you know, girl, go get you something and then you can come and talk. Come on, AJ, don't. I want to like you so bad, but some of the things you saying, I see how y'all ended up here. And then Britney was also saying, well, at first it started off as you were afraid to get married because you felt like you weren't in a space to take care of me. Now you've backtracked on that and you're saying that the reason is I don't have enough time for you because I'm too involved in my business. Okay, so you want to be the breadwinner, but you also don't want me to make bread. So I'll go back to what I said initially. Then you need to make more money. End of conversation. I think these two are going to stay together. Right now, I can't even say if I'm happy or annoyed by that. Britney is doing damn good on her own. And I do think that AJ is a little intimidated. I do. I agree with y'all. She's a little intimidated. And I don't want her to end up dragging Britney down. So she either needs to get on board or let Britney shine without her. And that's what it is at the end of the day. Still love her, but she's letting her insecurities come out in episode 7. So yeah, we have a few different things to talk about, but let's discuss this whole roundtable right before they got back with the original partners. Megan was like, look, I don't want to compare Dayna to Haley, and then immediately proceeded to list all the ways that Haley is better than Dayna.
I don't want to compare Haley and Dayna, but being with you, I just feel so much more secure within myself.
I laughed so damn hard that I scared my bunnies when they started talking about their little inside joke, and she was like, ha 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 ha, and they were like, ha ha ha. And then of course Dayna was just sitting there with the stank face the whole time, like, how dare y'all have inside jokes?
I'll start the joke off and like, you know exactly where it comes from. You riff my bit.
One thing I'm gonna do is rip your bit.
You riff my bit.
Whole time you and Mel been doing all kind of, y'all damn near butt naked on the balcony. But Dayna definitely got her lick back. She gonna say, yeah, you know, I love the way you treat me. You treated me better than I think Megan ever treated me. And then of course Mel is gonna say her life was changed because of this experiment, because Megan said that her life was changed because of this experiment. They really got a tit for tat thing going. But then Dayna called Haley Megan's little friend, and that's when it really got heated.
Where's the proof? And then your little friend here
My little
rolled
friend
with
here,
that too.
My little friend here?
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
She said, hold your damn horses and unflabber your gasters. This ain't no little friend right here. This is wifey. And then, of course, the moment we all been waiting for that whole little situation at the mixer to come out about how Haley was talking to Marie about these receipts that she had. And I am going to say, Haley, if you're going to say something like that, you need to stand 25 toes down. You did backtrack a little bit when Dayna called you out and was like, you said you had receipts. You were like, I didn't say that. You did, though. You did say that. We all heard you say it. Maybe that's not how you meant for it to be said, but you did say that there was proof. So if the proof was the Spotify playlist, that's not as strong as proof as what we heard, but I guess that counts as proof. But I just want to know how that whole Spotify situation played out, because if you've ever tried to log into a Spotify account fresh, then you know that that's not really how it works. Like, there is two-factor that you have to do. The person's going to get a notification on their phone. I actually think I know what happened. I think that Megan and Haley tried to log in, and then Dayna or Mel, one of the two, got the notifications on their phone, and they thought that it was a login from one of them, when in reality it was a login from the ops at the moment, and they approved it blindly without thinking about it. That's the only way I can see that happening, because that two-factor is strong. I have two-factor on for everything, because you just have to these days. And that's exactly why this video is sponsored by Proton VPN. No, I'm just kidding. It might be soon though. But seriously though, you have to have on two-factor, and the only way that I see that playing out is that they blindly were like, yes, accept two-factor. What is the point of having on two-factor if you're not going to check where the authentication is being requested from? You might as well just have your accounts be password free at that point. You might as well not put a password on your phone. You might as well make the password to your Instagram and your YouTube and your bank account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because anybody can break in at that point if you just gonna blindly accept the two-factor. And you know that it had to be a two-factor where it's like approve or don't approve, and it wasn't one where they got a code, because how would the other half have gotten a code? Because you have to be able to match the code to the TV. Like, if you literally signed in to Netflix, Spotify, damn near anything else from anywhere else that isn't your main devices, then you know you have to be able to match the code. So in order for that to happen, it had to be a very simple approve or disapprove, and they bad for blindly accepting it. I mean, it don't get much more serendipitous than that. And Megan and Haley got to be on a whole nother level of detectiveness, because I wouldn't even known to check Spotify playlists. Like, well, for one, I don't be making sex playlists, but I guess they do. But how would you know to be like, let me see what playlist they've been listening. Let me see if they splice their playlist together. You want to know the funniest thing about that whole situation? Dayna was popping off at the mouth the whole time. Please tell me this proof. You better stand up and tell me you got proof. No, if you want to be a bitch, you tell me you got proof. Where's the proof? And the moment that Megan starts talking about the Spotify, she was like, okay, babe, yeah, you're right, I understand.
Both of your accounts opened up, and all there's been was sex playlists. And on your account, you opened the album that you made for me, and you took all of the songs that you created for me, including our song Together, and you put that on your playlist together. And I don't appreciate that at all.
Heard.
Okay, babe.
Understood.
Y'all back down too easily for me. You should have been like, what does that playlist tell you? What are you talking about? To me, that makes you guilty. Because why did you so easily be like, oh yeah, I could see, yeah, you right, we did have a sex playlist. Mind you, this is all before they even knew about the matching tattoos. We haven't even gotten to that yet. Once everything settles and they get back to the apartment and they have they 2, 3, 4, 5 more fallouts, Magan finally tells Dayna that her and Haley hooked up all the way. But that feels like such a small bomb drop because she tells her, not only do I love Haley, but I'm in love with Haley. And Dayna, again, has found herself distraught. How could you do this for me? She calling her mama, I need you to hop on the Plizane right now. I need you on the red eye. I need you on a private jet. I don't care, just get here. And her mama like, you ain't got no friends you could call?
I need you to get on a flight right now and come down here. No, I can't call somebody. I need you.
In the preview for the next batch of episodes, we see them having a conversation on the patio, and Dayna says to Magan something of the effect, this was a test and you failed. Now, I can only assume that the test was the ultimatum, and I really don't think that's fair. In fact, I think that's a little bit manipulative, because if this ultimatum was in fact a test, this is a test that Magan tried to back out of in the beginning, and you were like, no, you promised you would be here. See, Dayna thinks she's slick. She's a little manipulative. I feel like every season of these reality TV shows, at least one person gets labeled with being manipulative, and that's because manipulative people just exist in the world. How are you gonna be like, you promised you would stay, and crying that she stay in the experiment, and then later on, when it doesn't have the outcome that you wanted, your reaction is to say that she failed? She didn't fail. There was no fail or pass in this. It was either you or somebody else, and to you, because she didn't pick you, it feels like failing, but she didn't fail. This wasn't a pass or fail type of situation. She just ended up falling in love with somebody else. That's something you set her up for, because remember, she wanted to leave day 0. So I don't like how she's trying to spin it like, I was trying to test you and you didn't pass it. Girl, maybe you just fucked up. If I had to predict if these two gonna stay together or not, I'm gonna go ahead and say they're not gonna stay together. I realistically think that Magan is done data with this, and she doesn't really see herself staying in this relationship. I hope that Dayna does not pull her back in with her, pull her back in her crutches and her grip and get her to come back, because no, I don't think they're gonna stay together, and I think Megan's gonna be the one to end it. Let's move on over to Mel and Marie. Now, before the recoupling, Marie was definitely throwing shade Dayna and Mel's way, talking about how she felt some people in the experiment were focusing too much on the physical and not enough on the friendship. We all know what she meant by that. Girl, now my voice betraying me. That's crazy. I start sounding like the Crypt Creeper just now. We all know what she meant by that. There we go. That's better. And do you know what I've come to the conclusion of? I think in certain situations, Mel does not take Marie seriously, because Marie will stand for nothing and fall for anything. When she was telling her about the matching tattoos in the car on the way back to the house, she was laughing about it. Marie was like, oh, so they're matching? And she was like, yeah.
Are you matching? Are you fucking kidding? You got a matching tattoo.
He did, yes.
My God. She's really gonna be a part of my life forever now, isn't she?
Girl, this was not a laughing. You got a matching tattoo with another woman you've known for 3 weeks. Please, are you laughing in my face? Because you could get out this car right now. And the crazy thing is that Marie is just eating it up because she's sitting there laughing back. Girl, stand the hell up, please. You making us all look bad by how gullible you been. I somehow forgot to mention this, but Marie also told Mel that she believed her when she says that her and Dayna didn't do anything. I gotta be real, I'm starting to think that the lights are on but nobody is home, because what the hell is she talking about?
I'm very disappointed in Haley. I know that you and Dayna are not the bad guys. I trust you.
I think that Marie is absolutely delulu. And she is exactly the person who I'm talking to when I say that deciding not to have kids when you want them is a settlement and not a compromise. Get real. You're gonna regret it, and you're gonna start to resent that person who talked you into not having kids. And the thing is, I can't even say that in that situation, Mel is trying to take advantage of her, because Marie is being dumb all on her own. Mel is sitting there telling her, look, it's not fair to you. I don't want to have kids. I'm not really feeling the kids. It's not fair to you because you've always wanted them. And she's going, it's okay. Family is a construct. Yeah, girl. And your construction is always going to feel incomplete if you don't have children. I don't understand. Like, girl, don't piss me off.
Having a family is a core value. That's something that you've always wanted. And I think that you shouldn't change your values for someone else. You know, and I shouldn't rob you of that if that's what you need.
My perspective on family has changed drastically. Family is a construct, and it's about like what you make of it.
we have a family already.
I don't understand how this is not an easy concept to understand. If children is something that you want in your heart of hearts, how are you gonna let your love for someone else who doesn't want them dictate whether you have them or not? That's not a reason not to have them. I understand Mel's reasons. Your reason, loving Mel and she doesn't want them, is not a reason. That's stupidity. And what's even dumber is that I think these two are actually gonna end up staying together. And if they don't, it's not gonna be because of Marie. If they end up splitting, it's gonna be because of Mel. But I think something in them is gonna keep them together. At least right now, without having seen Wednesday's episodes, I think they're gonna end up staying together. Can someone please help me understand? Because maybe I'm lost. What the hell is going on with Marita and Ashley? These two sounded like they were on a damn blind date, like they was getting to know each other for the first time or something.
So what are good qualities that you think that you should have in a marriage?
I think that you should love each other every single day.
They didn't seem like a good fit from the start. I said that. And they don't seem like a good fit now. It's hurting my eyes watching them together. Y'all are simply not a match for each other, and I need y'all to understand this. And here is the thing. It doesn't make either of them bad. I don't think Marita is bad for wanting more, and I don't think Ashley is bad for showing up the way that she shows up. Neither of them are bad. They're just bad together. And quite frankly, it's annoying as hell sitting and watching them pretend that that's not the case. If Marita is telling you, I brought you flowers as a hint because I wanted you to actually buy me flowers, and Ashley is saying, yeah, I picked up on that, and Ashley still didn't come home with no flowers, then Ashley don't give a damn about giving you flowers. I'm sorry. And then furthermore to say, well, Bridget just loved the little small gestures that I did. Okay, and that's good for Bridget. I don't know if you noticed, but Bridget and Marita are not the same person. Two completely different people.
Because Bridget didn't require all of that. It's definitely way easier. I didn't have to think about that stuff. She just appreciated when I would do small things.
And let me hold your hand when I say this to you. Flowers are the small things. If you are the type of person who thinks that flowers are a grand gesture, then you definitely should not be with somebody like Marita, because flowers are the small things. Flowers are, I was walking down the street on the way home and I saw some and I picked them up just because. Flowers are not a big gesture. And because it feels like that to Ashley, that is the reason why her and Marita are not a good fit. If your idea of doing something grand for me is picking me up some flowers, baby girl, we're not on the same level. Britney was cooking damn near daily, it seemed, for Marita. They both bought each other flowers by happenstance. You think that flowers are a big deal. What's not computing? Like, it's not clicking, Steven. And look, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but to me, flowers are such a small thing. It's like such bare minimum that it doesn't even, like, I am shook that Ashley actually thinks flowers are a big deal. Like, it's so bare minimum that it's not even funny. And if you can't do it after it being drilled into you, because I know Marita, this is not her first time saying this. I know she's been saying probably for years, hey, I kind of like these things. And you've been saying, okay, but I don't do those things. If you ain't got it by now, you ain't gonna get it. And that is why yours truly has said and will continue to say, you need to be able to understand your love language and your partners and your friends, all of the above.
How much more do I need to do to like show you that I love you? Like, I've never wavered in my love for you, not one time.
You haven't shown up in terms of the way that I receive love.
All because I didn't go buy you flowers.
I don't think these two are going to stay together. I think Marita knows better now, and she will definitely want to leave. Ashley, I feel like she'll stick around, but they're not going to stay together. Then we have Pilar and Haley. Haley, too, of course, has to admit to Pilar that her and Magan did, in fact, hook up. Pilar looks devastated. But then Pilar decides to further her pain, and she actually asks Haley, how many times did you guys do it? And almost worse than giving her a number, Haley says, well, shit, I wasn't keeping count or nothing like that.
Can I ask how many? Will that help the conversation? I mean, I wasn't like counting.
Girl, if the number was 85, you should have just said 85, because I wasn't keeping count. Sounds like it was so many times that you lost count. I know that hurt. I would never ask no crazy ass question like, how many times was it? Girl, you are not prepared. You are not prepared for the answer. But look, let's be real. Falling in love, or your partner falling in love with somebody else, is a huge risk that you take going onto this show. And the thing is, when it comes to Haley and Megan's original partners, so Dayna and Pilar, I think they felt some comfort in the fact that Megan and Haley weren't really going into this trying to get anything out of it. They really did kind of also end up together. They didn't really start connecting until like that last date that they had before they coupled. So I don't think that either of their exes were really expecting much out of it. On the flip side, Dayna very much went into her couple with Mel expecting something. And I think Pilar expected more out of Bridget than she got. So they were like, I'm in a good position. My partner's chilling and I'm about to go have a good time. But one thing about those tables, they gonna turn. And so I think that's why they're having a particularly hard time, because it's like, damn, I didn't see this coming at all. And I'm gonna be real, I do think that you can fall in love, or a version of love, or lust with someone in 3 weeks. I think it can happen that fast. I don't know if I think it could happen as fast as it be happening on Love is Blind, but it might just be the way that they cut the footage. Like, I feel like on Love is Blind, they be saying it within days. They be saying I love you, which is different. It's different to say you love somebody and be in love with somebody. It's different. But I do think that you can fall in love with somebody in 3 weeks. Unfortunately, when it comes to Hailey and Pilar, I actually do think they're going to stay together. I don't think they should, but I think that 10 years, that decade-long relationship is weighing on them heavily, and they're not ready to give that up. I think it's unfortunate because I don't think they should be together, but I think they're going to stay together. And then finally, we have Bridget and Kyle. I don't like where this whole Kissgate situation is going, and I had said that it was going to go somewhere, and I didn't think it would go here, but I don't like where it's going. Bridget is sitting here like, oh, well, I don't want to be married to someone who just goes around kissing anybody.
I really don't want to be in a marriage where I feel like you're going to just do whatever to be nice. Like,
girl, what the hell are you talking about? That was literally never a problem in your relationship. The issue is not, nor has it ever been, that Kyle is going around kissing a bunch of people. In fact, she brought you here because you didn't want to get married. Don't try to spin it and act like, well, you out here hoeing around, so I don't want to marry you. You know that is not the situation. She's on a show called The Ultimatum. You were coupled up with other people. A kiss happened with somebody else, and you think that translates into her kissing everybody? It's giving you're looking for an easy out of this relationship, and I need you to just flat out say it. Here's the other thing. When talking to Pilar about this situation, Kyle made it seem like Pilar did it out of nowhere, like she somehow, took advantage of her by kissing her. But when Kyle was talking to Bridget about it, she didn't say any of that. I actually went back to episode 4, and I'm just going to further say that Kyle really is sending mixed signals here. And that's why the explanation that she is giving to Bridget and the reason that she gave to Pilar do not seem to align, because they are not aligned. Even in the conversation with Pilar is saying, hey, well, you said you like words of affirmation, and Kyle's like, oh, so you're just playing around and giving me words of affirmation? And she's like, wait a minute, you're accusing me of being sneaky because I'm fulfilling your needs? Kyle is the one who wanted to come on this show, and Kyle should have stayed her ass home because she was not prepared for this. She was not emotionally prepared to open up emotionally to someone else, and she is trying to make Pilar seem like a bad person because Pilar was willing to do that. And this whole kiss thing, she said that she enjoyed the kiss, but then tried to spin it and make Pilar feel bad for it. And then when she goes to Bridget, she's like, well, it just happened. Pick a storyline, because you're starting to confuse the hell out of me.
She was trying to kiss me, and I was like, I don't want to do that right now. And then when we were about to leave, she just walked up and started making out with me. I could have stopped her, I didn't, but I just didn't love how it went down. And then that did happen, and it was fine, it was fun, but I just don't want anyone to get hurt. I feel terrible that something physical happened. I know that didn't need to happen, and I didn't want that to happen. I feel awful, especially knowing for me, it didn't mean anything.
The way that she framed it to Bridget was like, yeah, it happened, I participated, but I regret it. And please hear me very loud and very clear when I say, just because you regret the act does not mean that you were coerced into the act. People like to run that narrative a lot because they, whatever, they'll have sex with somebody and then they regret it after, and then all of a sudden it's, well, I didn't really want to. No, you did. You just regretted. SA is not regretting a consensual sexual act. SA is SA. And we need to stop blurring the lines because it makes it hard for actual victims. Lock the hell in and just say what actually happened. I like Kyle, but I can't stand that is how this is being spinned, because I don't think that's what happened. Granted, again, I wasn't there, but by both of their accounts, that's not what happened. That's leaving such a bad taste in my mouth. I hate when people try to be like, I just regret doing it, so I'm gonna say I didn't want to do it. Y'all make me sick. Now, typically for reality shows, I hold a watch party for the reunion, but I have a feeling that the reunion for this show is gonna be episode 10, which means that it's dropping on Wednesday with everything else. So I'm probably not gonna do a watch party, but if it turns out that episode 10 is the reunion, then maybe I'll do a live stream, unless you would just prefer for me to do a video like this. So there'll probably be a few different polls that I do. One saying, do you want a video or do you want a live stream? And then the other, if you choose live stream, what time would you want the live stream to be? So things are probably going to move pretty fast after Wednesday's drop, so just keep your eyes on the community tab. Outside of that, I'm going to go get this edited. Actually, I'm going to go eat dinner. Or not dinner. Girl, it's 11 a.m. I'm going to go eat breakfast, get this edited. I'm a day ahead, so I'm not rushing to get it edited, but it's going to go up tomorrow. And make sure y'all let me know below who y'all think is going to end up staying together, who y'all think is splitting, and if you think anybody's going to go back to their ultimatum couple. I would love to see Magan and Hailey get together, but I've already said I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's what I would like to see happen. So let me know y'all predictions below. Until then, I will see y'all Wednesday, and yeah, hope y'all have a good week. Bye. I don't know if anybody likes horror, but right before this, I was watching / listening to analog horror, like a compilation. You know, like the Mandela catalog. I just love that stuff. I love horror so much. I haven't done a lot of horror on my page, but when I tell you it is literally my favorite genre of movie, now I'm just going on tangent, but it's so funny because literally January of this year, and I'm going to sound insane for not knowing this, but I just discovered Corey Kenshin literally in January of this year, and I have been binging his Spooky Scary Sunday nonstop. I've been watching him play games, and it's so funny because I don't even watch people, like I don't watch people play games on YouTube, but he's just so funny. He's so funny. He's so wholesome. I love him, and I love Spooky Scary Sundays. And yeah, when is he coming back? Does anybody know? Anybody have the insight? But yeah, and while he's been gone, I'm like, I gotta find other spooky things to do on Sundays because it is literally Sunday right now. Typically, I only talk about horror movies and horror, not my knee all in the camera stuff in October, if that. But I gotta find a way to put some more horror in here because that's like the majority of what I watch on YouTube. Outside of watching people vlog and watching obviously commentary, I watch a lot of horror stuff. If you love horror and you don't feel like watching a whole movie, YouTube is full of short horror films made by like YouTubers. So small budget, it's good shit. You better not. I didn't say that. And then I'll say that other part after. Tendrils? Tendons? No, tendon is like veins, no. Treaches? Treaches? That's not the word I'm looking for either, but I'm gonna say that. It is a core value. Tyler, I'm gonna need you to get it together, sir.
Wake up in Pasadena, nobody asked where we from. Cold-blooded conversation, ADD told me to run. Why he got too many coats, Cali got too many sons. Home of the famous and broke, broken and lonely a bunch.